Kosmo. Hey, Kosmo. Permission to light it on fire here. Of the girls you've dated most recently, the one I've liked the most was the one who used to be in a cult. Like that's how
big time compliments. That in a Tulum hat. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Modern Flirting Podcast. We're getting into it. My name is Kosmo.
My name is Jared. What's up, everybody?
And we are with the amazing
douche
Albert Destrade.
I love how Jared already has a pre-planned thing on what he wants to do with this episode. So you're gonna come in to try to make fun of us. And me and Albert are going to tag team against you right now, letting you know.
I don't like your chances in that fight, bud.
It's not a fight. It's just a fucking win.
How do we feel about this, Albert?
I feel like you can't control your mic.
All right, so we're getting into a rank session today, so let's do it. I'm so down to do it. I wanted to talk about, what do you guys think about monogamy? I want to just get straight into it. I've had like
I got tested for it recently, and I failed.
You came negative?
I came back negative.
Fuck. He keeps testing, and he keeps going negative. Yeah. That's the real problem.
In my defense, I did do hand stuff with the nurse on the way in, so that kind of broke it. But yeah.
Brent, speaking of nurses, Brent did some hand stuff with the nurse last night, if you know what I mean. We got a little... Our producer Brent pulled a girl.
Brent. He's growing He's growing before our eyes.
He really is. I'm so proud of him. My baby's growing.
But anyway, to answer your question more seriously, Kosmo, man, monogamy. That's a deep one. That's what she said.
That's what she said. You got me.
I believe that it's getting more and more difficult to attain it, and I feel like society. Here's what I think. I think society is shifting to the point where monogamy is self-driving, monogamy is gasoline-powered cars, and like more fluid relationships are like electric cars and autonomy. And I think it's like we're moving that direction. Like we're maybe like 15 years away from it being full on, but I think that's where society's going.
What do you mean by full on?
We're like, it's, like, okay, let's look at online dating, right? 15 years ago, online dating was taboo. It was like, oh, you don't tell people you met on Match.com. That's really weird. But now there's more people meeting online than in real life. Right. I think that's like when it passes the 50% threshold, like I think we're going to get to like monogamy is under 50% are monogamous relationships.
It's kind of like back in the days where if someone told you, Jared, 17 years ago, I have an idea for a company where a stranger will pick you up in their car and take you to the destination you want to go to, how would you react?
From the internet. Everything we were taught not to do as a kid.
From the internet.
So that's kind of that's like Albert's point, right? Like back in the days, we would be like, hell no,
yeah.
What? And we're the guys. Imagine women. So you want two very attractive women to go on their phone and tell a guy or a car to pick him up and take him somewhere.
Candy in the car.
Candy in a car.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first lift. It was like, here's a mustache car with candy in it that a random guy from the internet, and you're going to get in his car and he's going to take you someplace.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on monogamy? And can we talk about your recent breakup that you had and how you feel about it and what you think monogamy looks like for you?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
So this answer is actually going to shock you guys. So I go through these kind of phases where in the beginning, I'm like, I was this big hopeless romantic, right? To this day.
I mean, I always thought you were hopeless.
You know what?
You got that part right. You got that part right.
So to this day, there's still a star in the sky whose technical name is Gabby Sparkle, because I bought it for my girlfriend at this time. It's going to be eternally. For the cosmics of all time, it's this Gabby Sparkle, whatever. So I was hopeless romantic. Then I went into this phase, and I went into this mindset of, you know what? Look, like what Albert's saying, monogamy is dying out. I believe in open relationships. I think it's unhealthy. If you have an open relationship, there's nothing to fight about, which is, honestly, it's kind of true. My longest relationship ever, 7 years, was an open relationship. Because what
the marriage one?
The marriage one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because what the fuck do you fight about? The biggest fights we had was about laundry, and my beard hair was in the sink. Like there's nothing to fight about, right? So I was in a 7-year open relationship, and part of it was being married, and it ended, nothing to do with the open relationship factor. It ended because we got too comfortable with each other. It was totally unrelated. So this is going to shock you. Now I'm going back more. Now I'm not saying fully there. I think everyone should talk with their partner about the kind of relationship they want. But I am thinking, you know what? Like, I would like to settle down, maybe, be monogamous, have like this is one person. They have to be cool with me, being social and going out there and whatever. But like, I guess I don't look at it as monogamous or open anymore. I look at it as you should be able to sit down with your partner and establish your own boundaries, your own rules that you want in a relationship that works for you and for your partner. But I don't feel this need, I guess, anymore where it's like, all right, I got to be with you, but I have to have the right to like fuck whoever I want and hook up with whoever I want, and you should go do it too. I can do that again. Don't get me wrong. If I met a girl who was like all about that and she really wanted that, sure, I can make it work, whatever. But if I'm at this point now where if I'm with a girl traditionally who's just like, look, I just want it to be me and you, nobody else. We're the team. I can respect that too, and I'm coming more towards, I guess, wanting that romantic frame again to it, which is just another phase, another viewpoint that I'm going towards.
As a dating coach, do you find it hard to have a relationship where your girlfriend can be like, no, I accept you, it's cool? Because I always wondered, like, the last relationship that you just got out of, I'm like looking at your IG stories and you have stories with other women. And I think to myself, if I was your girlfriend's brother,
right,
how would I feel watching that motherfucking story? What are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like as a dating coach, I'm watching your IG stories for Jared to have like a monogamous relationship. I look at it through the girl's lens and I'm like, how does she feel about this? And even if I was her brother, I'd be like, yo, like what's going on there? Right. How do you justify that? Or how do you see that? Is it like only business, or you're like, that doesn't mean anything? Like, are you calling your girlfriend and saying, hey, I'm about to do an IG story. Like, ignore this. It's for, growing my brand.
So
I've been dying to ask you this question, by the way, because like I know you broke up with your ex, right? So then you have like before that,
which was
like
open. That one, she was like, "Yeah, let's be open relationship," and she was all about it. And
before he answers that, really quickly in the show Dave, Little Dicky show, do you see that when he writes a tweet, he goes, "Just got head," and then his girlfriend gets mad at him. He's like, "That wasn't me tweeting it. That was Little Dicky." He's like, "That's for my brand."
Me.
She's like, "Why are you tweeting this? Just got head."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
100%. It's so ironic. I'm responsible for over 180 at this point, probably over 200 marriages, and these are just ones I know of. I've been a groomsman about 40 times now of these weddings for students, for whatever, or maybe not groomsmen, but invited to these weddings. So I can get these guys these crazy results. Families, there's babies that were born because of me. But yeah,
I'm sure there have been.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
A little European, the sun show, fucking, walking around. But to answer your question, yeah, I find it's very hard me as a dating coach to make the next step of really having meaningful real relationships because of the job. Like, these women will connect with me, they will fall for me, but then they see what I do for work, and it's very, very tough. And the irony is, yes, honestly, at the end of the day, it is a job. So my vision, and it takes a while for a girl to, one, people to trust me enough to realize, look, if you're going to go out and do a boot camp or be around girls or coach, that you're not going to cheat on me, you're going to be respectful towards me, you're going to whatever, which I like to think I'm a man of honor and integrity, and that I wouldn't. If I tell a girl something, I'm going to stick with that. Like, I've cheated once in my life. A true story. I've only cheated on a girl once in my life. It was when I was 21, and it wasn't even sex. I kissed another girl. And I felt awful, and I told the girl about it, and that caused tension in our relationship. That was the only time I've ever gone against what was agreed upon in a relationship.
Well, how many girlfriends have you had in your life?
I mean, meaningful,
relationship.
8 or 9, and of that.
What about you, Albert?
How much time do you have?
We got to wrap up in 5 minutes.
No, I
like
15.
Really, that were meaningful relationships.
Fell in love. How about fell in love? 'Cause I've only been in love
6, 7, 8 times.
Yes,
You fell in love 7, 8 times?
Yeah.
Wow. What about you?
37.
4 times.
Damn, I feel really weird right now. I've only had 2 relationships my whole life, and I fell in love with the one that I had for 10 years, and the last Israeli I didn't fall in love with at all. So I've only been in love once.
Wow.
You haven't been in love once?
Yep.
That's so interesting to me.
How much time do you have, Albert? But back to Jared. I know I was curious because a lot of people ask me that, like, how many girlfriends have you had? I'm like, serious? I'm like, 2.
Here's my vision, though. And for my ideal dream girl watching this or listening to this podcast, I hope you're listening to this, and we can. I mean, I'm going to talk to my. I'm going to manifest this episode into like finding my girl. But like, this is my vision, and what I hope I achieve one day and really get with this is, those stories. Like, for example, you said you see me with these stories where I have all these girls around. I want her in that. I want her to be one of those girls. I want to create this. I want somebody who like sees the vision of modern flirting and wants to be my partner with it. I want a girl that I'm traveling around. Maybe she's helping out with the boot camp. She's the wing girl or whatever, right? Like I want a girl who can share this life with me and not be an outsider watching in. You're like, I'm a brother. What the hell? It's like you're a brother watching her do it, and she's in those stories. She's there with me, whether it's open or whether it's monogamous. I really am. I'm okay with either one. I want a partner who can see this lifestyle and really say, look, at the end of the day, you're empowering men, you're changing lives, you are an agent, not of sex and douchery, you're an agent of love. And you're creating this and transforming these lives. And I hope she'd want to be a part of that. And this goes to, there's a business coach called Alex Hermosi. He's insanely, I think he's brilliant. He's literally like us of the business world. He's just insane. He's so brilliant. And his wife...
He's fractured and broken on the inside?
Always, probably. And his wife...
Wow, he sounds cool. I like him.
I gotta keep it real.
His wife, Layla Hermosi, said something on relationships, not even business, and it resonated with me. I'm like, yo, this is it. And she said the best relationships, the top... She broke this whole pyramid. I'm not going to get into all that. But she said the top of the pyramid, it's not values. It's not communication. It's not the stuff that we think is relationship, whatever. She goes, the fact that me and Alex work and what the relationships is, we have a shared mission. And that's what I've really been lacking with every single major relationship I've had. We're together. It's not like, and you can have your thing, I can have my thing. But the fact that me and my hopefully future wife and my dream girl, we have a shared mission. Whether it's modern flirting or maybe it's something else. Maybe we start a charity or whatever. But like, that's never been there for me.
That's huge. That's really, that gives me like chills. That's crazy.
Right?
What are your thoughts about, and what you just mentioned right now is what I had in my 10-year relationship. Like she was, when, our producer Brent did one of my boot camps, she was one of the wing girls. Like she was included in it, right? I'm more wondering just if a girl would have a chance with a monogamous relationship with Albert or Jared or Kosmo, monogamous relationship, but she has her 9 to 5 doing
that's
wait, well, hold on. Let me finish this. She had her 9 to 5 doing real estate or taxes. She was the perfect girl. You would come home, you'd get sex, food. She was intelligent, all of the above, charismatic. She was like your ideal girl, but had nothing to do with dating or social dynamics. How do you guys react to that? I'll go to Albert, and then I'm really curious.
Yeah, for me, that's really simple.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a big...
Yeah, no, her having anything to do with dating or social dynamics to me is not relevant as long as she's an aware human being. And I was having discussions with someone the other day about love languages, and I think what makes us different, us three here and people that are watching this who have put work on themselves to get better, is we have our lives. If you look at our life as like a chart, we change a lot. We talk about, like, I remember once on a previous episode, Kosmo mentioned that his previous version of himself had died and become a new version of himself. The average human being doesn't transform like that, right? Doesn't adapt like that. People just are like, this is my life, and my life is the same. So I think a reason why we have more difficulty finding partners that are long-standing is because who we are is adapting and changing.
Does this mean you'll try spicy food finally?
Fuck
Will
no.
you adapting change?
No. But the me I am now at 37 is so different than the me I was even at 32, and definitely at 27, and definitely at 22, right? So I think finding someone that matches what you said, who you are in the moment, is so important. And I don't know how long, being in this arena is going to be a part of my life. I don't know how long I want to be going out teaching cold approach and shit like that. But I do know the things that matter to me more now. I know it better now than I ever have. And I know
you better get an Albert boot camp. If you're watching this, you better hurry up. He's on his feet.
Scarcity, motherfucker. You got a couple months.
You got time to kill, motherfucker.
You got a couple months, man. And that to me is what's important, Kosmo. And like, to piggyback on your point, I never thought about its shared mission, but lately, you know what I've been thinking about? My number one thing I look at when I identify a girl?
Plane crash and being calm.
Plane crash and that cock.
Like, I lived the best life ever, guys.
No, I'm
honey mustard.
No, when I'm evaluating a girl, if I break it down into one thing I'm looking for a mafia wife. You know, like when you watch like The Sopranos or like these
Oh
shows.
my God, what an interesting perspective.
Like I want a girl who's like that motherfucker where I come home and I'm like, there's 3 dead bodies in the car. And she's not like, what did you do? She's like, what do we do about it?
We're learning so much about Albert, the fact that he's cool to die and that he might have 3 dead bodies in the car. And his wife is like on a show with him.
But like I need somebody who like is a down ass motherfucker who like is cool with a crazy situation. Sorry.
You just named like the number one thing for me right now is more than anything, loyalty. And whatever you're going through, not to try to, figure out why you did it or get defensive or anything, just loyalty.
Yeah.
There's a really good scene in The Town with Jeremy Renner.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
Sorry, guys.
Whose car are we taking?
Stop ruining the podcast with these cars.
Okay, so yeah. Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck comes over to Jeremy Renner, which is the other actor, sitting down, and he says, we're going to do some very horrible things, but I can't tell you why, can't tell you whatever.
And we're not talking about it anymore.
We're not talking about it ever. And Jeremy Renner goes like this. Whose car are we taking? Like that to me was like, I want a girl like that.
Yes.
He wasn't like, hey, what happened? Are you okay? What are we doing? He was only
Are you sure
thinking,
about this?
Are you sure about this? He was like, whose car are we taking? And I was like, man, so that I'm with you, Albert, with that is loyalty. Just have my back. And in return, I feel like we're like talking about like what we need from women. I feel like I hope I can provide my future wife with that is my loyalty as well. I feel like guys do a really bad job in trying to be logical and rational. If a girl's like, oh, I feel like shit, a guy's like, why? You have a big house? I'm making all this money. Why do you feel like shit? So also too, like to put a mirror on ourselves as well too. Like we need to learn EQ, and yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, no, loyalty is huge. I guess what I want to feel like I'm bringing to the table with my girl is, as men, we're meant to be protectors, providers, and whatnot. And I want to, maybe it's a Jewish. I keep making every episode about me being Jewish. I'm sorry. There's this idea or concept like I want to be this amazing provider, not just financially, and that's a given, but I want it to be like a lifestyle she's never had before. I want to find a girl and really transform her life. And whether it's traveling around, whether it's a higher status, whether it's introducing more interesting people, whether it's opening her mind to new concepts, self-improvement, self-growth.
I hate that. No, I literally hate it.
I know, but we're
couldn't be more on the opposite side of the spectrum.
And this is where we disagree.
I think it's the worst outlook ever.
But that's what I want to bring to the table.
Because
I love this.
No, you're literally saying, I'm sorry, but you're taking a person, you're like, I want to lift them up, and I'm the opposite. I want somebody who's at my level, who like keeps me in check, and we work together as a team. But she's not like, if I died tomorrow, she's fine. And if like whatever, like I don't want a dependent human. I think that for you, I'm dead serious. I think you end up with these dependent chicks who can't do anything for you. And if anything, I think you need somebody who brings more to the table than you bring.
So don't get me wrong. I want a teammate. So what I'm saying, what I'm providing is, I want to give this girl a lifestyle. I want to see the potential in her that for whatever reason she didn't get in life. She's still, maybe she's like a nurse or something, and she's just like, she loves what she's doing. But I see the potential. And I agree with you. And for our listeners who don't know a little bit of my background, I tend to find these like, projects. I don't know what to call them. These like broken girls, whatever. Maybe I'm Captain Save-A-Ho. I don't know. Yeah. And I agree with you on that. And I'm trying to improve. And I think I've been making some improvements. And
I disagree.
You disagree? Okay.
I think you're doing worse. This is the worst you've ever done.
I'm a sinking ship.
I think this is the worst you've ever been.
Well, you know what? I'm like you on a plane. I'm just like, this is how they go out.
No, Cosmo. Hey, Cosmo. Permission to light it on fire here. Of the girls you've dated most recently, the one I've liked the most was the one who used to be in a cult. Like that's how bad your selection has been lately.
Which one was the cult one?
Israeli.
I don't want to.
She wasn't a cult. It
was like a nice cult. It was a friendly cult.
So the last one.
Yes. She was a former cult member. And that's the best of the girls he's dated recently. Some of these girls made me want to get in an airplane. And you guys know how I feel about that.
Oh, my God.
Easy. But my point is all right. So anyway, let's go back. This is
why you need friends like this.
No, he calls me out. And it's not just him. Our other friend, Brandon.
This is the modern flirting podcast, and we don't pull any fucking punches,
hey,
right?
I'm a dating coach. I'm not say relationship coach. We got Prince and Dale. I got guys on our team who are an amazing.
And I tell you that because I love you. I tell you 'cause I love you.
But look, I got guys in my team who are in amazing, successful marriages who help our guys. Every week we coach them on managing relationships. I'm not on that call. I'm very good at helping you get the girl though. But to add to what I really want, it goes back to before. I do agree with the loyalty thing. I want to ride or die. I do want a girl that's on my level in terms of bettering me. So like fitness, let's go to the gym, let's push me. She sees me in a bit. Okay, here's what it is. I'll tell you straight up. And I know which girl you want me to get with, but this is what I'm attracted to and what I'm really want. It's down to one of these two girls. I either want like classic housewife. She's like, I'm a waitress in a whatever place, and I'm willing to give this all up to do a shared mission with you. And like, fuck what I'm doing. I don't have a purpose right now. I'm a leaf in the wind. What you're doing, the social dynamics, the dating stuff, I'm down to tag team this with you and be awesome. And I take her out of this world and we just fucking kill it, crush it together. And I see her potential for whatever line in life, you know? Or I find a woman who's a businesswoman of her own, entrepreneurial spirit. She's got her own shit. She's got like all her shit together and she's doing her thing. And then we just team up and it's like, yo, whatever you got going on, girl, we're going to blow that up and you're going to help me blow mine and flirting up because you're a smart, successful entrepreneur girl on your own. And you get my lifestyle of running this and doing all of this. I need one of these two energies. What you said before, instant disqualifier for me. Instant. With the girl who's like, I've got a 9-to-5 that I'm really serious about. I'm an accountant who does a 9-to-5. I go into an office and like, that's my life. And all I look forward to are the weekends and one vacation a year that I get to go off. I can never date that girl. It is an instant disqualifier. And unlike Albert, if I find a girl who's just like, oh, I'm not that into psychology. I'm not into the men and women dynamics. I don't really, what you do is like, it's cool. And I'm a perfect whatever, but like, I'm not that into that. To me, that's a straight up oxymoron. She cannot be an ideal girl for me if she doesn't find what I do and what we teach fucking fascinating. I need a girl who lights up when I talk about this stuff. I need a girl who wants to add to this and wants to better me as a coach with this as well. And if she isn't that for me, she can't be my ideal girl. It doesn't matter. You can be the hottest girl in the world. I don't care. Like for example, Ariel, remember the girl I took to Costa Rica, whatever? She was the second type. Very smart, gorgeous girl, entrepreneurial, wants to do her own thing. You know, she's a $1 billion heiress or whatever the fuck, but she's doing her own thing as well. She was way smarter than anyone would give her credit for. Because you look at her as like a dumb, big tip blonde or whatever, right? Like you do. Like you look at her like you're a Barbie. You don't know nothing.
DTB.
Big tip blonde. But when I talk with her, I'm like, no, yo, you get shit. You're smart. Like you, whatever. I need or the other girl. I'll say the name. Fucking Tess, whatever. This girl who's like, fuck it. I don't care if you're listening, Tess. Sorry, not sorry. The girl who's in a quote unquote cult. It wasn't a cult, but whatever.
It was a nice cult.
But like she's not doing it. Like her job right now is like she was like she's a nanny. She doesn't know what she wants to do. Right? I can take either one of these, and they could be like I can make them work. But put me with a girl who's like I don't know what's a good 9-to-5. I'm an accountant. Just keeps coming to mind.
Bank teller.
I'm a bank teller. Like never. It's instant disqualifier for me.
I'm completely the opposite.
Go for it.
And also, too, you named the only two energies. There's no other energy. You're like the girl who's very consistent but low, kind of like has a regular job, or the girl who's very ambitious, going to challenge you. What other energy is there? Like, those are the only two, right? Like, think about it. Like, it's either the girl...
Content girl. No, there's a content girl. There's a girl who.
Well, that would go into like what my point was. Like the night.
Your last girl. I'm not gonna say her name unless you want me to.
No, please don't.
The optometrist, right? The optometrist.
What is going on, guys?
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is that like so you only have one energy. Your energy is you have to date a girl that is going to be on your level or getting to your level and higher, correct?
Or bettering me with my level, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so here's where I'm at, and I would love to hear, I'd love to kind of like talk about this more. I'm fucking crazy.
Yes.
I am fucking crazy.
Correct.
Albert, I am chaotic. I'm spontaneous. I'm unpredictable.
You don't say.
If you hang out with me, you'll have the best time of your life. I go for it. Do you think that I want to come home to a matching energy of myself?
Right.
That's tearing their brain apart on how they can scale their company to, like $10 million company, 20. I don't want any of that. What I want is consistency and somewhere where I can come home to where they're like massive consistent, like just in what they do. So like, for example, a bank teller, that's very consistent. It's 9 to 5. They are very predictable, all of the above, but it doesn't mean that the sex is going to be boring or consistent, or when you get home, we can have fun. But if I'm dating like an entrepreneur woman that is on her way to blow up her company, I know that when I get home, she might not be home. Then she has to go fly out over there, and now I'm not going to see her for 4 days. Then she comes back, I might be gone. And then she's stressed out and has an ulcer because of her company and is going here and there. You're
my wingman. If I find a bank teller, I'm throwing her your way. You find an entrepreneur girl, you throw her my way. I got you.
And if we think about it, like pop culture, like there's a reason that Kim Kardashian hasn't been able to settle down. Like think about it.
Yeah.
Like she is really, really. It's hard for her to find a guy.
Can I tell you why I think this is for both of you guys?
Why?
So I think
Therapy time.
Jarrett, and this is for the listeners, if you fall in one of these two categories, I think it's based on what your guys' human baseline is and the adjustments you have to make. So Kosmo just said something. He goes, I'm crazy. I'm a lot. I'm extra. What do you generally have to do to yourself, Kosmo? You have to like pull back a little bit, right? Jarrett's the opposite. Now, Jarrett right now is kicking ass in the gym, kicking ass in business, but his default,
let's just stop it there.
His default intrinsically is to be sedentary and to be lazy and to play wizard games on the phone.
Why did I get a feeling it was going somewhere negative?
You know when someone says, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like literally.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm getting compliments early. This cannot end well.
No, but listen, hear me out. I'm serious. But the energy you guys are giving makes sense. So Kosmo needs somebody that pulls him back from insanity to more calm. And Jarrett needs somebody that is motivated so he doesn't sit on the couch when he had a bad day and is tired.
Also, too, Albert, I think why you're a genius, I think why you're a genius in what you said right now is because I think that's why me and Jared work so well together. And yeah, this is kind of like our dynamic is whenever we hang out, even in Tulum for New Year's, we're getting drunk, turning up. I'm at the gym at 7 a.m. Jared's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, what are you doing? I think our dynamic is exactly what you're saying, but I don't have a vagina, so he can't fuck me.
You also seesaw, I noticed. Like, sometimes I get stressed, and he's able to just do his magic where I'm like, all right, I can breathe again.
Well, but what I'm just thinking about it in the bare bones of it, like who you are intrinsically without motivating yourself. Jarrett, bare bones, doesn't want to do these things. You've trained your brain to know, I got to stay on top of, I got to keep a schedule, I got to work out. But that's not who you are. Like if you didn't have external things like coaches and mentors, you wouldn't do it.
No, honestly, no way. I'm gonna tell you straight up. It's not the coaches and mentors. It's you guys. It's staff. It's. I did stuff to an extent for myself, and I got comfortable, and then I realized that people under me. Not saying you guys are under me, but like the people that like rely on me. Wanted like for example, like the shit when Kosmo's like, "Yo, I got this financial goal to hit." When you said that, I'm like, "Fuck, I got to step it up." When Brent's like, "Yo, I got to hit this goal," I'm like, all right, I got to step it up. It's really not my mentors. It's the fact that I love my team. I love not just the students, but the staff of Modern Flirting. And every time somebody on the staff is like, I want to hit this, the only way for them to do it is for me to go higher. If everybody on my team was literally like, I'm good, I'm content, I promise you Modern Flirting would stop growing. I would just be like, cool, I can chill and coast and I'm done.
But you're walking into Albert's point, right?
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with it. I agree with that.
Which is a great... Dude, it doesn't matter where the motivator is coming from. As long as you can find it from somewhere, go for it, right? Like, it doesn't matter if it's like, people hate me, that like fuels you, go for it.
And guess what? You guys are both actually doing the right thing. Most people fuck up. Most people think they want, like Kosmo thinks, most people in your shoes thinks they want a female Kosmo. And most people in your shoes thinks they want like the other version of Jarrett. Like you guys are actually identifying what makes you the best version of yourself and who's going to bring that out of you.
So what about you? What do you
I'm
need?
a mind fuck. I'm a disaster. I'm a hopeless case. My problem is
you need a psychologist. I want you to date a straight up psychiatrist for crazy people.
That would be so bad if you dated a psychologist psychologist because the amount of mind games that you play, Albert, and how
my God,
calculated you are, and at times I do feel like
Yeah,
I knew him when he was.
I'm a much more calm. Like this is me, like chill. Like I don't.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, but
Bro,
but I'm saying
with Albert as a friend.
Yeah. I no, man. I think I see it more now. I'm an old sailor now, so I could see the field at all times. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to go that route. But okay, your question is what am I looking for, or what I think I need?
yes.
I think I need versatility, understanding, and like I think your word earlier was trust too. Like not trust in a trust me not to cheat on you, but trust that like I know better in most things, and when I'm doing something, there's a thought behind it. Like generally when I make it
versatility, trust. I'm going to call you out right now. This is Survivor Albert talking.
No, man.
No. You're giving the big out. No. And who's going to say no to versatility and trust? You know what I want in a girl? Positivity.
I get it. Maybe
no
versatility is
shit,
a wrong
Sherlock.
word.
No. Describe this girl. Like I said, I'm specific.
So yeah,
someone who's focused on the big picture and isn't a short is okay thinking long term. Like I have a plan. Someone who believes in me and knows that I'm capable of executing and knows that
job be.
Huh?
You stole my thing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. Well. I'm gonna nail Albert so good right now and so hard, and I'm going to go deep.
God, yeah,
You're really good, Albert. I think you could be the president.
Did these lights get hot?
I think you're really good at being a politician. And I oftentimes wonder where's like the most vulnerable, empathetic, where I can see Albert naked, like emotionally naked and afraid. You're really good. We've done several podcasts, and you've been like one of our best guests. You're just really good at, Jared's really good at this reframing, but you're really good at giving all the right answers. Yes. So I'm going to trap you to a corner right now because you're a mirroring image of me. Like when Jared met me, he's like, I can't wait for you to meet my friend Albert. You guys are so similar. We're a little bit apart in the fact that I feel like I'm very in tune with my emotions, and you do a really good job.
Emotions.
You do a really good job in putting everything into a department and closing that department. I leak my shit out. Like if I have a problem with someone, I'm gonna call someone out, and I'm gonna open it out. Like we went out. We had a guy bump into you. You came up to me. You're like, Kosmo, this guy bumped into me. What was my reaction? Like I'm that guy. I love Albert. I'm going to fuck this guy up. And only because I'm gonna do the data to be like, oh, that guy pushed like other 5 guys that were like skinny white guys, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fuck him up. And I was this close to fucking him up. So that's my downfall, right? Like I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. I cry a lot. I'm very vulnerable. So we're very calculated human beings, me and you are, which is scary when we hang out together because we're like 2 computers, like analyzing shit really quick. Here's my question to you. You have to pick one occupation. Yes. What does your future wife do? One occupation.
Late night bartender.
And then that would consist of her getting hit on by guys. She has to get tips to be flirtatious. Are you okay with that?
100%.
Does she have to have a bigger vision in life, or is it okay for you to be with her for the next 40, 50 years of your life, 60 years of your life, if you don't get on a plane? And you'd be okay with it if she's like, hey, babe, I just want to be a bartender. I'm cool. Would you be okay with that?
I think I would be, yeah. I think I would be.
Third question. Could you be able to be in that relationship if a girl is more intelligent than you are?
Not possible. No, I'm kidding. Yes. Yes, I could.
But you know what I mean, right?
No, 100% I could.
Yeah, like literally like my...
Would love that.
Yeah. We love that. So that's positive.
Yeah. Okay. I think that that's what I said, the word versatile, because I'm looking for a unicorn who's like works in like overnight bartending, but understands big picture things and like is committed to like a family, but also like gets it that I'm like an uber social person who's always going to be out and doing fun shit.
How social would she have to be on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think I'm imagining a girl that doesn't exist. But
no, how social
the number
would you put her?
8.5 to 9.
So super social.
I want a girl that's very cool, like being around people, doesn't get tired, likes talking, likes socializing.
You know when you go out and you're like winning over the crowd, right? You're talking to people. There's like, everyone's like, man, Albert's really cool. Jared, I love your friend. Would you be cool if the girl that you were dating was actually more social than you were? So when you would leave the party, they would come up they would be like, hey man, your girlfriend was amazing. Like Amanda was amazing. Or do you have to have some kind of dominance there? I'm going to be honest right now. I'll call myself out. I need to be the more social person.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I want a girl that's at my level.
Really?
I'm with Albert too on this one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't like when a girl's like not keeping up, not socializing, not engaging. Like I like that I could be here having this and she's over there telling her own group of stories.
I'm sorry, time out. No, that's not what I meant. I'm not saying that she can't hold her own weight. What I'm saying is that a girl, for example, if you dated like a really famous stand-up comedian girl, when you invite her to a social gathering, she will take over. So you will be in a conversation with me and Jared, and she will come over and steal the fucking conversation. I'm not talking about a girl that's going to be needy, that can't hold her own weight. I'm talking about, would you be able to date a girl that can actually take over?
Do you know why I like that? Because it allows me to like, I don't have to do as much. So it's like the counter of you guys. I can kind of go, here's the baton.
For me,
because she represents me.
Wow,
we're
that's
together.
deep.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We're together.
Yeah.
So now it's like Albert and her. We're this entity that everyone wants to be around. So when I'm not on, she can be on.
But here's where I say depend. And
I get to go back to Albert before I became this Albert when I was 19 years old, and I just liked fucking dorky music and like baseball stats and shit like that.
I think you're assuming something critical.
Is that weird?
And
do you get that?
If you miss this, then I think it could lose. And this is why I keep saying it depends, is because if she takes over and she doesn't treat me like the wingman rules, she doesn't keep me part of it, she's not bringing me, like, let's say I'm dating a famous celebrity, right? For whatever, and she's always in the spotlight. I would love it as long as she shares spotlight with me.
Yeah, but do you hear what I said? I didn't say her. I said we. Like, she's a representative for our brand.
But that's
the Destrade brand of outgoingness.
But what he said is, what if a girl is more social, takes the spotlight more than you, she's whatever, but what if she's not socially aware enough to make you part of it? Then you're just sitting there
that's
like,
bad.
I can't get attention.
No, that's bad. But as long as there's the inclusiveness factor, if it's us, she's us. Like, we're an entity. I don't look at it like, when I'm in a relationship, I don't look at it as like me and her. I look at it as us. So if she can carry what our brand does, the Destrade brand, whatever the fuck that is, that's what I'm about.
I'm in the spotlight, if she controls it, but I'm in the spotlight, I'm with Albert on that. But if she's more social and dominant and she's like that aloof girl, that's just like she's doing everything and like forgets about me, that would piss me off. Now I'm with you.
Please in the comments put that in. Do you guys prefer more dominant, less dominant? More social, less social?
I really don't feel like I'm being heard right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What's weird? You're on a podcast. I mean, that's all
I feel.
Can you check the audio?
I feel that
Brent?
it's what I guess what I'm saying is that if you're dating a girl and you're in a conversation with 4 guys, 3 girls, Albert and Jared,
Thanks.
and then whenever she comes into the group, all eyes go to her and people refer to you as, oh, you're Amanda's boyfriend, instead of people saying you're Albert's girl. You guys are both really good at I feel you're reframing what I'm getting to is that it's not Albert's girlfriend. It's like, oh, you're Amanda's boyfriend. Because we're in Hollywood right now, right? Like, this is when you're dating like an actress, stand-up comedian, like very strong personality. You're not at a social gathering working together. This is just their natural being, their personality. And I feel like for me, I wouldn't be able to handle that. I'm an alpha. I like to, like a little bit be in control. And if a girl's coming over and has a larger than life personality, meaning needing validation, needing approval, all that, that's why I could never date a stand-up comedian. It would be really hard for me to date like another like really good comedian girl.
Kosmo, can I give you an example that might blow your mind and be effective for you? So you're an actor, right?
Yeah, I'm an actor / dating coach.
Yeah. So when that situation happens, when she's not Albert's girlfriend, I'm Amanda's boyfriend, right? She takes the lead. My skill set of social skills, I now use a different range, like an actor's range, and I'm no longer the Will Ferrell in the movie. I come with the subtle social skills. So I get to use a different side of my social tool belt where I'm like the background character and I'm making little small comments to like smaller pockets of the group.
How long before that drives you absolutely fucking crazy?
No, I like it, but it's like if you're an actor and you're
Really?
only in drama movies and you find or comedic movies and you finally get a role in a nice drama, it's like a change of pace. So I think and again, maybe I'm wrong.
Forever. This is your forever relationship. I think.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just off right now. I just don't believe you.
You don't believe that?
Because I have never hung out with you thus far where you're not trying or are the alpha, where you're submissive, where you're cool with whatever. Even when we're planning stuff, you're like, what time we're going there? Like, I'm not buying it.
Right. You haven't seen me in that range yet. It's like I've only seen Will Ferrell's funny movies. I don't know his other roles, but I try to think, maybe I'm wrong. I try to think that I have a little bit more range.
Here's what I think is going to.
This is really interesting.
No. Here's the missing piece. Because I know Albert. This is the missing piece. I'm gonna put this on my cockpit. I don't know. We got a producer like go to the left, go to the right. Put this up here. More. I'll sit on his fucking lap if I have to. All right.
Hello.
I'll go. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Now we're getting close.
Am I in shot? Is this good? Look. All right. Here's the missing piece. I think. Albert, I believe 100% what he's saying, with this one more caveat, where he's the dominant one in the relationship, where he's the one where like she's doing this shit for me, she's the one setting up these connections. Like if he can, I don't want to say control the girl, but like if he's the one who's being the alpha in the relationship. I promise you, he will not mind her being the socialite, her being the one taking the spotlight, whatever, because he's like, she's doing it for me. She's getting me into this crazy place. She's the one, blah, blah, blah. But he's got to be the alpha one or the dominant one in the relationship as the man. And I think that's the missing piece you're not seeing because, and it'll look like he's just in the spotlight and whatever, and she's controlling shit. But as long as he's like the wizard behind the curtain, he's cool with that role. And I think that's what it comes down to.
But that's not what he was saying. He was saying with being a supporting lead character in a film. That's the supporting lead character in a film is not the wizard of it. It's not like Unusual Suspects. Remember that movie back in the days? Yeah, Kaiser Sosa? He was the wizard. What Albert was saying, literally he just said it, is like Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. When they're doing a movie together, Will Ferrell is the guy and Mark Wahlberg is like the sidekick.
Perception-wise, the perception to the layperson who's watching this relationship, I think he's okay looking like the supporting character. But I think it's the wizard behind the curtain where him and the girl know.
That's what I was calling out. That's
because everyone really.
Cosmo,
here's another thought process. And Jared, you've taught a lot of this. I think everyone. There's two sides of every relationship. There's the public version of the relationship, and there's behind closed doors.
Yes.
And I think that's what Jared's talking about.
Am I right with that read, though?
Yeah, I think in public, I don't mind taking a little bit of the back seat in certain settings, but I do agree that definitely in the behind the scenes version relationship, I would definitely have to be the guy that's, the person taking the lead.
So you're assuming that if you were dating a famous stand-up comedian girl, which I know, is kind of my circle, that you think that behind closed doors, she's going to turn it off. You're hoping that she does.
Not turn it off, but put it this way, to use your example from earlier from The Town, I need her to be Jeremy Renner, and I'm Ben Affleck.
So you're going for the loyalty then?
Yeah, I'm the one that says this is the plan that we have to enact, and her job is to be like, whatever the plan is, I trust you to like.
So if you're an eligible lady, stand-up comedian girl who's very socialite but wants a nice alpha guy to tell you what
fun
to
fact.
do behind.
Oh wait, can I change my answer? Can I literally change my answer?
It's too late.
My dream career is female stand-up comedian. I don't know why I didn't process that.
Really?
That's my
Your dream career
for a girl. Yeah, to date. Love
he
that.
wants to do a stand-up comic. The exact.
Absolutely disagree.
Yeah.
Maybe not. All right, I didn't think about it too much. You're right. I just thought about the travel.
I hope we meet a female stand-up comedian tonight when we go out.
We know one. Can I say names? We know one.
No names.
You know who I'm talking about.
No names. Oh, they have a friend. We can guys get back to it later. No whispering.
The one who worked for us for a second.
There's no whispering on the podcast.
Comedy.
Yeah.
What if we introduced her to him?
No whispering on podcast, guys. This is on YouTube. Hi, hello, how are you? My mom's watching.
Okay, but you know who I'm talking about. What if we introduced her to him?
What are you guys talking about? There's over here.
How would he do with her?
Albert would hate her. Let's go back to.
They're killing me, Brent.
Let's go back. I mean,
help.
All right, cool. Well, went into monogamy and went into what we.
That was awesome.
What we see.
I feel like I used a cigarette after that segment. I'm like, woo.
Brother, fuck the podcast. This is my therapy. I don't need a psychologist after this. This is like better than therapy.
The reason why I brought it up originally, I don't know if you guys know this name. A lot of you might not recognize his name, but there's a guy. What's his name? Andrew Tate. So like, you know, that being said, right, like I do feel like where the world is going to be going with the message that he's putting out, which by the way, I agree with a lot of stuff that he's saying right now. And oddly enough, he came in very controversial, very hot and heavy. And now I'm watching his YouTube videos and all that. I'm like, I kind of like this guy. Yep. And he is now being more empathetic, being more nerdy. He's getting, he did the Piers Morgan interview where he was more quiet. And he is, like what we were talking about, segueing it back to you, Albert, the wizard behind the curtain. He's like, I ran game on all of you guys. And now I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to be more empathetic. Now I'm going to be a better listener. I'm not going to be this guy that's XYZ. But what he's kind of like promoting right now, and now I feel that he's backpedaling a little bit, is that the guy can never date a woman that makes more money than he does.
Well, he said that. He admitted that.
Right. I'm saying, so for me, that comes in a very big form of control, correct? Because if the girl, hashtag Kim Kardashian, makes more money than you do, then where do you stand in a relationship? That's why I opened up this kind of conversation right now and wanted to kind of hear your thoughts on where you're at, because I feel like a lot of guys watching this podcast right now and listening are like, man, that's a really good point right now. I make $125,000. I'm good. I think I'm good. It's a good income. I'm going to keep growing. But I meet a girl and she's at $400,000 a year. How does that dynamic work? And I feel like at some point the guy has to submit a little bit. The guy has to be like, man, I'm going to empower my girl and I'm going to let her do her thing. Right now in my life, I know 4 or 5 guys. I know I'm going to be judged by what I'm saying right now, but whatever. I know 4 or 5 guys right now that are living in a big house and have had a good marriage. They've all these relationships longer than 5 years, 10 years. The girl makes more money. But my brother, the dynamic is very different. Like when they're going out to a red carpet, the girl's in control. And they're like, I'm good. Because they don't have a growth mindset. They're like, I'm good. I love her. They have kids. They're just, they settle. I don't read that from your personality. I don't read that from Jared's personality. I don't read that from my own personality. It's a different kind of breed where a guy can come out and do that. And that's kind of where like I fuck with Andrew Tate. And then I'm like, no, I disagree. I'm like I'm confused about it.
Can I give you an example from my life?
I just want to give one. You know, I know useless information and all this crazy statistics and whatever. In relationships where the woman makes more money than the man, right? When those people get married and it becomes a divorce, it's over. I don't know the exact number, but over 90% of the time when they get divorced, it's the woman divorcing the man.
Let's just say over 80% because if people are watching is going to Google it.
Google it. It's over 90. It's over 90.
And there's a reason why.
So when that for whatever reason, when that dynamic, the man is making less than the woman, there is a super high chance that the woman's going to leave the guy at some point. She's going to, even if the guy's cool with it, the girl is going to lose attraction and leave the guy in that dynamic.
And do you know what an alpha does in that situation? I'm not going to point fingers. In a 10-year relationship, he starts to self-sabotage. I'm going to have to call myself out, right? Because his form is an alpha to lead. And now you just took that away from him. And that's what I did in my 10-year relationship. I literally started to self-sabotage. And it took me like
because you felt like she might leave you first and you wanted to get ahead of it?
So those are abandonment issues, right? Like self-sabotage is literally like I'm going to prove to you why like this will not work out because what you did to me and I'm going to prove to you. And I like just self-sabotage. Yeah.
We both have abandonment issues. I get that.
But my question was, and I know a lot of guys watching this can relate. If you're a passive guy, my cousin Johnny, he moved out to Cali with me. He's a passive guy. He's cool with just being in the back seat. I am not. I can only fake it for so long. And when I met my ex, the 10-year relationship, I was full-blown famous, bro. And then in the end of our relationship, she was making more money than me. I'm like, how do I handle this, right? I'm like putting myself on blast right now, whatever. I'm like, I'm an actor. I can make a lot of really good money. And then for like 8 months, no income. Her thing was very stable and growing. Like doing, she was an attorney for disability. So she would get hot leads calling her all the time. Because, she would get you money for your grandma, your mom. She'd be like, I got you. Disabled, I got you. And when the money changed, the whole relationship changed.
Man, I had an experience or a few experiences in my 20s. It's funny, man. I've always kind of dated the same age. It's just like I changed. Like when I was 25, I was dating like early 30s. And now I'm 37 and I'm like, I'm dating early 30. Like it's just like
Matthew McConaughey thing. I keep getting older, and
they just like, and same thing. Socioeconomically, I went from being comically poor to like doing middle to then like doing really well. And like, I'll tell you this: when I was dating older women who had more money than me, and again, maybe I'm a unicorn. I'm not the average Joe, but I was never in a relationship where she was in charge. And I think that money is just, it's a pendulum, right? On a value pendulum. We always talk about this in modern flirting, right? Money is just a form of value that a person brings into an interaction or into a relationship.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily the end all be all, but depending on the person, how they interpret it. But what I think and what I experience is generally when a woman who has more money dates a man of lower means, that woman is...
Define lower means.
Lower financial means, so poorer. That woman is almost like proud of the guy as a trophy because he's like usually like a boy toy. He's like cute and poor but sexy and
like Spread.
It's like the movie Spread. Yeah. Oftentimes he's younger than her. She's 40. He's 28. It's like...
Were you that guy when you were in your 20s? Were you? I know our friend Brandon.
What do you mean? I dated several girls that were 10 years older than me. Like I'm saying,
I looked at you as like the sexy.
See, I could never do that. I could never do that.
And it helped me mature and grow. And I always like felt, and like I was still...
Who was your Mrs. Robinson? If you look back, who was that like older girl?
Wait, I'll say it right now. Bleep, bleep, bleep. See, no, I don't name names here, brother. This isn't the name podcast. This is the modern flirting podcast.
And it's also Miss Robinson is a reference from The Graduate. Dustin Hoffman dated an older guy.
Yeah.
Older girl. Sorry.
Yeah. But and I think that like being in that situation, but I will say this: your cousin who's more passive, who doesn't have that. He don't work in that situation. He cannot date somebody that's more dominant than him that makes more money. If he does, I think it won't necessarily end well.
He does, and he moved out to Cali with me. And during my divorce and all of the above, he's like, I'm leaving to Florida to go date a girl that has a kid already, and she does make more money than he does, and they just had another kid. And I do think that it was going to work out. But if I'm to give my prediction, Albert, I, in the beginning, thought that it wouldn't. Right. But I think that he's so cool with just letting her lead that I think it actually might work out.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. I love this. So to segue, to kind of wrap this podcast up, and by the way, thank you so much, Albert, for letting me call you out and being vulnerable. I feel like some of the things that I said on this podcast, I want it to be deleted because my ex might be watching it, but fuck it. Hope you guys appreciate the authenticity.
It's public therapy. I have to accept it.
Well, I mean, like I just think that like just being real at the end of the day, is like really cool. So question to Albert and then going to you, Jared. What are your thoughts on keyboard gangsters, keyboard warriors, the online dating when you don't have to meet a girl in person, and like this kind of culture where we're headed? I don't want it to go negative or positive. I'm really curious.
Burn them. I have a vitriol hatred for the model of online dating for so many reasons.
I'm being honest. What does vitriol mean?
Like venomous, like
I literally have never heard that word. I got it.
I couldn't hate it more. I think it's like the worst thing for humanity. I think it's like as bad as like, how people are like, social media is the devil. Like we're addicted to it. It's like a version of that. For so many reasons. We could do a lecture series on this, but if I sprinted through it, I think it's like guys who haven't earned the right to have access to certain women are getting access to those women.
This is what I feel.
Yeah, and I feel like it's only going to lead to more misaligned relationships where guys and girls who shouldn't be together are together, and they're getting together for the wrong reasons. I hate so many things about it, and I think that I wish that we made a move back to like organic and meeting in person and connecting as human beings the way we should be. That's the short answer.
I love that you just said that. The thing where I'm conflicted, and maybe a lot of viewers can relate to this, is when we went through COVID, everyone talks shit about Instagram and social media. Guess what happened when we went through COVID? Instagram was probably one of the top 10 lifesavers through COVID. Why, Kosmo? People were going Instagram live. They were having the ability to connect. They can watch, your nephew's story, your girl. Like IG really came in clutch. I don't know if you guys noticed during COVID, there was never so many IG lives ever, and people connecting through that. So I think that social media did a really good thing with that. But it wasn't picking my partner that I want to be with for the rest of my life. It was more a need to just connect. Yeah. To be like, yo, I'm isolated. The government has told me I can't leave my house, and I have to wear a mask, so I can't talk, and I have to be trapped here. They got on Instagram. They could do IG lives. I really do feel like during COVID, Instagram came in really, really good for people who are obsessed with social dynamics and dating coaches. I do think that Instagram was a massive asset, not a liability during COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole online dating thing. Well, first of all, online dating saved modern flirting during COVID. If it wasn't for online dating, this company would have imploded because
it's not about you.
I'm just saying.
You're not relevant.
I'm just saying for me.
What are your thoughts about online dating in general, where it's going, opposed to if we're at a bar? We've met a lot of cool guys where they're like, yeah, I could talk to girls. I'm very social. And then me and you, like, we go out and these guys come out with us and we're like, hey, look, there's two girls right there. Like, go say hi. And they're like, oh no, they're too ugly. They're not my type. Right. So there's a lot of people who hide behind that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I 100%. So I agree and disagree with Albert at the same time. Or like Albert and I have like conflicting philosophies on this, because in spirit, I'm with Albert 100%. In spirit, I think you should earn the right to date a certain caliber girl by putting yourself through the fire of the what we had to go through, the being able to cold approach and get rejected and be that kind of guy who's good in person. Because even if you get good with online dating, guess what? You're going to have to meet her at some point. You're going to have to actually...
It's fucking Darwinism. It's a food chain. Yeah. Like, you got to earn your way to fucking have...
You got to fight it. You got to earn your way.
And cold approach meaning walking up to people you've never met before.
Yes. Cold approach means walking up to a random person, meeting them in real life, in real time, all that good stuff, putting yourself through the fire of getting rejected in person, seeing is she attracted to you right then and there, getting over the approach anxiety, and not being a little bitch, and actually going up and talking to her and knowing how to keep the conversation going, which are all skills that are needed, because even if you do online dating, you're going to have to meet this girl eventually anyways. And if you suck as a human being, as a person, you don't have those social skills, then cool, you got a date from online. It doesn't matter, right? But here's the kicker. And here's where I'm going to kind of diverge with your point, Albert, a little bit, all right? Where we kind of think a little bit differently is online dating is the future. It is. Like, we can talk all day and night about how, guys should go through the cold approach stuff and that is the only way, and like what we all had to go through and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's the way the tide is going. And if you're going to be this guy who's like, I think driving stick shift is still the way to go and blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, bro, we're on electric cars now. And you have to understand, like, that is the dating scene. Dating scene is not cold approach anymore. Or in 20 years from now, it's going to be cold approach being going up to a random girl that you see while you're out and about. But like, that's going to be a faux pas. Back in the 1980s and 90s, the idea of meeting a girl online was the most cringiest, weirdest thing ever. It was seen as like, you met someone online? What is wrong with you? How desperate and crazy are you? In the 90s, there was those like VHS videos where it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's going to be cold approach, as defined as going up to a random girl and talking or whatever. That's going to be what that's look like in 20 years from now. And if you don't understand how to play this game using modern technology, as in modern flirting, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. And
can I give you my counter? Real fast.
I will, but you have to realize, like, you have to adapt, or this is it. You said survival of the fittest. This is, in modern times, this is Darwinism.
No, it's not. Do you know what Darwinism is?
Wait.
Social circle events.
Yes, I agree with you.
All that matters.
But here's it. Social circle events from using online dating and online platforms. That's the way we're going.
Like, I hate to keep teaming up against you, Jared.
No, bring it.
But
I love it.
Well, I love Jared more than anything, and he's my number one. I love you. I think it's social circle events, and you. I don't think that you're funneling women from online dating to social circle events. Guys and girls listening, social circle events, meaning that you get invited to a party and your friend will introduce you to a girl. Like, you don't have to walk up to a girl from scratch. Building like a network where you can just plug in with people that already know you. Meaning that if you're at that house party, at a tennis event, a volleyball event, a karaoke party, the girls that are there know that you're not a creep because you haven't been invited here by someone that is high value or that they trust. I actually think, and I, love Elon Musk for saying this, even though he's like the biggest guy in a component of AI and all that free will win at the end of the day. And our job, our number one thing that I think we need is to feel a connection, and that inanimate object at some point will lose. And that need to be connected there will be there. So I can walk up to a group of girls from scratch. A lot of people call it cold approach. Like, just walk up to girls, introduce myself, and then funnel those girls and guys that are very high value, that are cool guys, into a social circle event without touching an online dating app. I have not gone on an online date in about 2 years. And I go out a lot and I have fun. I have literally not gone out on an online date in 2 years.
But the average person's not at that level. And here's my prediction.
You're right. You're right on that. That is true. You're right.
Here's my prediction. We are the dying breed. People are not going to have our skill set at our level with modern times because online dating is taking over. So the new modern lifestyle funnel that I can predict within 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is not going to be cold approach to social circle. I do agree social circle is going to be the way. It's going to be who's in our circle, who's in our lifestyle, who's whatever. But I think the acquisition source, what makes like the entrepreneur side of my mind, is going to be meeting women through these online dating things, Instagram dating apps. And disagree all you want, shake your head all you want. They're going to be meeting people through these online dating apps, funneling them to an event, and inviting them to a social circle thing, the best players of that next generation, the Gen Zs or whatever. And then these girls are either going to get invited back or not. But like, that's going to be the easy and most efficient way of meeting lots of girls. Because every single girl in 5 or 10 years, the hottest girls ever, are going to be on these apps, these platforms, and that's the way to meet them.
I 90% agree with you. I think you're right. You're missing a huge component right now.
Which is?
Instagram. I do not consider Instagram as an online dating app.
That's a disconnect.
Okay. So let's talk about it. My last relationship, I met her through IG. A lot of girls that are, girls that are coming out tonight, I met them through Instagram. What do you mean, Kosmo? Okay. So on Instagram stories, you can showcase your lifestyle, what you're doing, your dog rent, like all of it. And you're not going on Tinder. You're not going to online dating app. You're on Instagram. They're just stalking you to see, is this guy very congruent who he is? And they're like, wow, this guy, Albert's waking up every morning, going to the gym. Oh, he loves his dog. At some point, they're going to be malleable. They're going to be like, hey, what are you up to this weekend? So I do feel like Instagram is the game changer. Not only that, but how many of you listening right now, watching, have bought products through an ad? On Facebook ad, on Instagram ad. Right. Guess what, guys, I predict are going to start doing? They're going to run ads to social circle events where, well, that's not online dating. They're going to start running ads. And I started doing this 2 years ago, where you run an ad and you're like, hey, by the way, free drinks all night. We'll have security. You'll be safe. All of the above. Come join our event. And that is not online dating. That's social media, which I'm a big fan of, that's going to funnel into social circle game. And at some point, I hope that overpowers online dating.
And we have a different definition, because online dating to me doesn't necessarily just mean Tinder. Online dating, hold on. Online dating to me means getting dates from online. It means
Okay, so we agree because I don't pay a membership for Instagram, but I pay but on Bumble.
Just think about the phrase online dating. There's 3 ways to meet a girl. You meet them online, you meet them out and about, cold approach, random person, or you get introduced to them through a friend's social circle. Online dating, I'm defining very clearly right now, is getting a date from a girl you've met online. I don't care if that's Tinder.
Copy that. Okay, got it. That's where we didn't. I didn't know what you meant.
Now catch this.
I'm curious with.
But now catch this. Hold on. With your funnel, what if, let's say, I mean, I hate Tinder, but let's say Hinge, let's say a classic online dating app. What if you met girls that way and then just funnel them to your Instagram? And then they're on your Instagram, and now they're seeing your Instagram stories, whatever. And then from Instagram, they come to your social circle. Are you against that?
Yes, I am, because most of the women that I meet, that I have an interaction with Instagram, most of them are because I met them in real life and I built some kind of connection. Then I'm like, by the way, get my IG. At the time, they're like, I'm probably not going to hang out with this guy, but they keep watching my stories, my posts. They get to know me through Instagram. They're like, this guy's really cool. Or the
online dating app, they would go to your Instagram and be the same thing. It's just where you're meeting them. It's the same thing.
I see what you're saying. Got it. That's interesting. Good
Guys,
point.
can I run something by you?
Yeah.
So
Actually, no. Fuck that.
So anyways, guys, thank you for listening to Modern Flirting Podcast. We're going to wrap up right now, and it was really good for you guys to tune in.
And make sure to hit
me
the
and
like
Jared had a really good time in our podcast. Go out, bro. We love you. We teamed up against Jared too much. I had to have his back at some point.
I love watches. Okay.
I love cocks?
I love cock. I oftentimes, Cosmo and I talked about this the other day, where sometimes when we're doing the actions that we do in a club, lounge, bar setting, we stop and smell the roses sometimes and like be like, wait, look what's happening. That happened to me the other day. I'm at a bar and I just look around. I'm just like, this is crazy. This is a building where they have all these drinks lined up and everyone's here to just like meet each other and drink around each other, right? Because at the end of the day, human beings just want to like be around each other. And that's why these dating apps started, right? Because some guys didn't have the fucking ball. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, so...
You're right, though. They didn't have the balls or the courage to actually feel humiliated or embarrassed and get rejected. You're right.
And eat rejection in their face like humble pie. But I think what we're thinking of, or what we're missing is... 2 things. Number 1, there's probably going to be a time where somebody develops a Tinder or Bumble or Slumble or whatever the fuck it is for not me meeting Karen at a coffee shop, but for our group to connect with their group and do a social circle infrastructure thing that does that. That's what I think should and probably will happen.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, you lost me there.
A swiping dating app technology that I'm nowhere near smart enough to create or design or understand, but that connects people into like social circle events.
Would you have to share like a commonality, or would you have to have like, are you in on the group so they're like, okay, we can connect you with?
We
like,
can
how
invite
would that
you
happen?
into the group. I don't. We can.
I see where you're going. I mean, I think it's genius, but there's like a lot of missing components. Like, would you have to, for example,
apply for the group, demonstrate some other stuff?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Something like that would be interesting. Number 1. I'm going to add one little minor point. I agree with Jared. No matter what, we're doomed. Technology is going to get us, so we have to adapt. I know that I'm the grumpy old man. And number 3, I think that as a fucking whatever, like us sitting right here, man, I think we have the influence, literally, based on this fucking screen, that gentleman, to like make a revolution where we like make social circle. Like they're like, oh, Dan Bilzerian's, he's the guy that like gets all the girls on yachts. Why don't we be the guys that make social circle the biggest thing in the country?
You should. I'm preaching.
And like literally and like start a movement. So everyone who meets somebody on a dating app on Tinder, you suck and I don't like you and I'll fight you. Come at me, bro. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm not. But seriously, we can make social circle stuff change the culture, change the mindset. Like, let's use our influence for the good and get rid of these people that are meeting on dating apps one-on-one, and maybe lead the way for a social circle dating app down the road. I know that's very big picture, but
when you do online dating, one thing that I do like about it is if you're gonna do it and you meet up with the girl, be proud of it, be empowered by it. Don't hide it to your friends. Be like, hey, I had to meet her on an online dating app. I think running from that is a danger as well too. I know a lot of guys go on online dates. I'm like, how'd you meet her? And it's like, oh yeah, I met her at this bar, my friend. Like 8 months later, I find out that it was through Tinder. So if you're gonna do it, like literally own it and walk into
Over
it.
50% of relationships now currently are met through online dating apps.
yeah.
Over 50%. It is officially more normal to meet from an online dating app like Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder than it is through friends.
Yeah, I agree.
We would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the comments and really give us your feedback on what you think, is going to happen in let's say a year, 2031. How about we just do that? Let's make it interesting. Where are we at in the dating world in 2031?
It's like the old Conan O'Brien bit. In the year 2000. Yeah.
And we'll see where we're at, but this was really interesting conversation. I don't think anyone here was right or wrong. I think the comments that we're gonna get,
probably Albert,
and the
though.
people that are listening on iTunes and stuff like that, like I feel like it's good to open up a debate and talk about it. At least if we're talking about it, it's a good thing. Whether you guys think we're right or wrong, we have a debate and we have a conversation. That's awesome.
We'll let the comments.
And
We are master
argue.
debaters.
We are the master debaters. Yes.
Guys, we're checking out. We love you. Kosmo checking out.
Jack checking out. What's up, everybody? We love
I'm
you.
Cosmo. No, wait, I'm Albert.
That's Albert.
We're two Cubans. We do it the same. Brent, we love you.
Oh, Brank checking out.
Guys, honestly, we love you.
Mahalo.
Take care. Mahalo.
Ciao.
Take care. Oh.